Faisal Deen was an immigrant from India where he became a jeweller. He was involved in gemstone trading and small-scale gold mining. Until 1942, he operated in the Tennant Creek area in the Northern Territory, but after the bombing of Darwin, he fled to Brisbane with a quantity of jewels and gold bars. He had dealings with Thomas Brown and Sons, who were agents in Brisbane. In 1943, he arranged to place his gold and jewels in a safe in their strong room. He left the keys to the safe with a Mr. Harden, the general manager. He had no further involvement with the gold until 1959, when he heard that Mr. Harden had left the company. He made inquiries and it emerged that sometime around 1949 or 1950, the gold and jewels had been stolen from the safe. Mr. Deen sued for either the return of the gold and jewels or their value. Such a long time had passed since the breach of the contract or the conversion that he was statute barred from those remedies. All he had was detinue. He had made a demand for the return of his goods and the demand had been refused. To make a case in detinue, he had to show how the goods had been bailed in the first place. Unfortunately, they had been bailed unlawfully. In 1943, the Australian government made a decision to compulsorily acquire all gold in Australia in order to finance the war effort. The gold should not have been bailed, it should have been sold. As a result of this illegality, the court refused to support the detinue claim. The High Court said the terms of the bailment required the company to hold the gold in safe custody until such time as the plaintiff required them. And while apart from the provisions of the regulations, he could no doubt have demanded their return at any time, the purpose common to both parties was that the company should hold them for an indefinite period and not part with them except to the plaintiff. So far as the gold was concerned, the performance of that agreement would, and in fact it did, contravene the regulations. From this case we learn that where detinue is raised against a bailee, the bailment itself must have been lawful. A person cannot ask the court to enforce their own unlawful act.